I'm Jan Walker. I was married to Larry for just over 32 amazing years. Larry was married before. His first wife, Midge, tragically and quite suddenly died from a brain aneurysm while playing tennis. Larry was left as a widower with two young boys. He remained a bachelor until we met in 1987 and then married in 1988. I am so blessed that Midge's family are true family to me today and have been incredibly supportive of not only my relationship as Larry's wife, but of helping me with emotional support throughout his illness and passing. So, to start our story, I have to admit that Larry Walker simply swept me off my feet. Within a couple of months of dating, he took me to Hawaii on what I can only call a dream trip. He was going to attend the Sheraton World Conference for the first week of the trip. He had just retired from Sheraton as a senior vice president, but extended the trip for an extra week for sightseeing. It was a bit overwhelming for me as I met so many people that simply adored and loved Larry. He was like a celebrity, like I was walking in on the arm of Frank Sinatra with some George Clooney thrown in, with even Alfalfa from the Little Rascals as part of him, with his cute little hair sticking up. He was hail fellow well met, not only to the other executives from Sheraton, but also managers, franchise hotel owners, right down to the staff there at the hotel who remembered him, as early in his career he'd been part of the opening team at the Sheraton Waikiki Beach. And then he lived in Hawaii for several more years when the boys were little, running other Sheratons there. So his love and knowledge of the Hawaiian Islands was vast. He was a great tour guide. He showed all the islands to me on that trip for 2 amazing weeks, including a private concert by the Beach Boys. How could I not fall in love with this wonderful man? Indeed, we were married a few months later in a great Gatsby themed wedding with 450 friends of Larry's and mine in attendance, all decked out in roaring 1920s evening attire and dancing the Charleston into the wee hours of the morning. Life with Larry Walker was a whirlwind of dinners, balls, galas, travel, and boy, he took me on some wonderful trips around the world. Larry loved hotels. He loved staying in hotels. He loved running hotels. He loved his employees. He had great skill in inspiring others to do their very best, no matter what the job. And he was also an incredibly good sport, always willing to dress up for costume parties or Halloween. Though one year early in our marriage, I thought for sure we might get arrested if we were pulled over because we were dressed as African natives, complete with blackface and animal skin sarongs. Certainly not politically correct these days. One thing for sure was constant with Larry Walker. Wherever we went, he would run into someone he knew. I remember even once being in this obscure airport in Minnesota, and we heard down the terminal, "Larry! It's Larry Walker!" Larry was also a family man. He loved his two sons as best a dad can, but he reveled in his grandchildren, who called him Big Daddy, Never was he so happy than to have them all over or to meet out for dinner somewhere with all the kids. At Christmas, he presided as Santa every year, which was totally his favorite day. Well, of course, maybe with the exception of Thanksgiving because of all the food and football. Larry was also a super achiever. As was written in his obituary on Facebook and in the newspaper, Larry was a Marine. He was president of his senior high school class. He was president of his college fraternity. Another thing about Larry, he loved chocolate malts, watching football games, college football games, and he loved his vast group of men friends. And he loved the Lord. And there is something not everyone will know about Larry, as he rarely talked about himself, but he was a very competitive person. If you walked with him, he turned it into a foot race. I can't tell you how many times in Europe he'd be so far ahead of me, I'd finally just take a picture of him to remember where he was. He was always home on a bike ride before I could get there, probably wondering, where is she? Blocks behind him. Larry was competitive. Even as a young boy, he started a paper route to make money and lied that he was older just to get the job. He was so competitive that he won Paper Boy of the Year in LA at the age of 14. His prize was an airline ticket to Washington, D.C. and to meet President Roosevelt. Throughout Larry's life, he met and or dined with almost every president since Roosevelt. Larry loved sports and played baseball as a kid, football in college, and finished 5 marathons. He loved tennis and played it 2 or 3 times a week with his buddies. He played on championship level teams for the Winter Park Racquet Club. In fact, he organized and ran the men's member guest tournament at the Winter Park Racquet Club for many years. He always wanted to be a good golfer. He liked to play, and goodness knows we played golf not just all over the country, but all over the world. And much to his chagrin, he just could not master golf. Over the past 15 years of his life, Larry found a new sport. He took up spinning. That competitive spirit kicked in again, as he always tried to be the very first member in line at the doors of the Winter Park YMCA at 5:45 a.m. in the morning to get his spin bike, while I was fast asleep in bed still. But afterwards, he would work out on exercise machines at the Y, but secretly, I think he just really visited with his friends there versus pumping iron. That's really what he loved. He loved talking to people. He loved getting them to talk to him, to tell him about them, so that he would know more about them than they about him. That was Larry Walker. Larry was all about service and helping others to become their very best. If you ever saw his office, the walls were covered with just some of the awards he was given. He served on many local and national boards and committees, some of which will be commented on by others in the videos that follow mine. But just a few. He served on the American Hotel Association National Board. He served on FEMA, representing the hotel motel industry. He was chairman of Junior Achievement. He served on the President's Council on Tourism and also served on the Hotel Institute out of Michigan State University, where he helped set the standards and author textbooks used in hospitality management degrees. I guess one way you could sum up Larry: he loved God and he loved serving others. You will see next quite a few short videos from former employees, hotel people, fellow board members, social friends, partners, and family of Larry, who very graciously sent me these memorial videos with their thoughts about him. Please keep in mind that they were accomplished not professionally, but generally on a mobile phone. But these are all truly from the heart. At the end of these videos, there is a short slideshow of some additional Larry photos, if you make it to the end. Please know that we will have an in-person celebration of the life of Larry Walker party in his honor sometime next year after COVID subsides. And I will let you all know when. And lastly, I want to thank all my family and friends for their huge outpouring of love and support to me. And a special thank you to Sophie Lugo, my real estate partner, for compiling and editing this video. While losing Larry is the toughest thing I have ever faced, I will always have the most incredible memories with this amazing and loving and fun man.